It's crazy what's happening now at the southern border, and you're the perfect person to talk to this about. Your documentary films, they come to America. We used to feature them on Fox, on the Kelly File, on America Live before that. And so, unlike most of us, you've been down there repeatedly and you understand this region and this problem acutely and truly on an expert level. This is what we know. In the last fiscal year, nearly 28,000 Haitians have been intercepted by Border Patrol. It was only 4,400 the year before. It was only 2,000 the year before that. Okay, so we are way the hell up. Just to kick things off, before we got to this crisis with the bridge. Down under this bridge in Del Rio, Texas, started off with 400 of these migrants, went up to 4,000 very quickly, then 10,000, then 16,000, which people who watch this area say is unprecedented. This is not some media invented story. This is huge. This is dangerous, and we don't know how to deal with it. Now it's reportedly down to 8,000, and the Biden administration is telling us it's great. They're flying the migrants back to Haiti. Don't you worry. They're putting them on planes. They're going back home to Haiti. They're on it. And now we learned, Dennis, it's not true that only a handful have been put on the planes back to Haiti, and the rest have been released into the good old US of A with a little notice saying, okay, can't wait to see you at your asylum hearing.
They're never coming back, Megyn. You know that. Look, I've been doing this immigration thing since 2009. Nothing ever changes. It's always the same thing. Today, we're talking about the Haitians. Tomorrow, we'll be talking about the Guatemalans. The next day, we'll be talking about people from the Middle East. It has always been the same thing. I did a Facebook Live on Saturday, and it went viral. Why did it go viral? Because Biden and the whole administration came out and said, no, we're going to be deporting them. And I said exactly what was going to take place. He's going to send home a few, because he's going to get those headlines. It's all the window dressing, and the rest of them will be released into somewhere USA. They're going to go out there. They're going to be spreading COVID. They're going to be spreading all the other different diseases they come in with. And there's a lot of diseases, Megyn. And it's the same thing. Every single year, every single president, it is always the same thing. And the thing that gets me about this, look at anything in our lives. There's always advancement. Sometimes, Megyn, that advancement comes slower, or it just comes whether you like it or not. I'll give you an example, right? Here, you and I talk about immigration. We used to be with all the big cameras. Now we do it because technology lets us do it through computer screens on my end. Everything in this country has made an advancement at some point, except for the border. The border is the only thing that we could always look at and say, why does it continue to get worse? And the reason why it gets worse, whether it's Haitians or somebody else, is because there is no will to stop these people from coming into our country. There's no will on either side.
Now, what about that? Because I know you've been critical of Trump, and you're a Trump supporter, and Biden when it comes to this issue. So why? Because, I'm nowhere near as close to it as you are, but my feeling is Trump did a lot more to prevent illegal immigration and crack down on those crossing our border unlawfully, certainly than Obama before him or Biden after him.
Yes and no. So I listened to an interview you did with Stephen Miller. I think it was about a week or two ago. Excuse me if I got the dates wrong.
Yeah, end of August.
But I found it astonishing, and I found it troubling. And I'm not looking to pick on him individually. It's always the same. If you go back and look at Donald J. Trump's books that he had written prior to actually winning the presidency, if you go back and you look at all the speeches he gave on illegal immigration, take out the great chant of build the wall. What you heard this president say before he was the president was that he was going to put in a multifaceted approach. The wall was one part of it, but as an expert, I know that the wall is like putting a Band-Aid on cancer. Until you create a system to where there is no longer the availability for an illegal alien to get a job, you are going to continue to see this flow come in. Now, in his books, Trump said that a wall would not do it alone. You had to put tariffs on Mexico, and you had to put in mandatory E-Verify. You had to hold the employers accountable. Stephen Miller, in all of his smarts, never, ever, ever was there one tweet from Donald J. Trump of all the tweets. Never was there any one tweet about E-Verify. And when he did say tariffs, Megyn, and I think this may be the most important thing I say in the program here today, it was on let's say June 1. I have it here written somewhere. It was on, May 30th. Okay. He wrote May 30th, 2019, after the rush of caravans was coming in. He told Mexico, I'm going to put a 5% tariff on all the products that you're sending in. And by the way, 80% of Mexico's, exports go to us. He was going to put a 5% tariff on starting June 10, and then it was going to go up to as high as 25%. It would have crippled that country. It was the only time in my 10, 11 years doing this that I have ever seen Mexico react. They sent their top people to Washington, D.C. The stock market actually took a little bit of a hit. We had them. At the end of the day, those Haitians don't need to be underneath that bridge. They shouldn't be underneath that bridge. Those Haitians are just one visual, Megyn. We're getting about 5,000 people right now per day, if not 7,000 people per day coming through, in addition to the Haitians. Those people should have never gotten past the border in southern Mexico, but they do. And the reason why they do, Megyn, time and time again, is because the cartels are making billions of dollars off this. The government, the corrupt government of Mexico, are making billions of dollars off this. The politicians in this country who are getting donations from big companies who are making a fortune off this, that's why it continues to go. The Haitians right now are just a page in a big, huge book of illegal immigration into this country.